Alright, welcome. This is VCQ, and I'm going to be going through a little bit of Age of Mythology Retold today. So, for us Aussies, it came out on Steam about two and a bit weeks-ish ago, for around about $40. So, I have played just a little bit of it. Tried to get another vid up and running, but sound issues caused me to abandon that, so hopefully this time it works well. My initial fears were that it was just going to be a reskinning of the original Age of Mythology, and that nothing was going to change game-wise or mechanics-wise, and it would just sort of be another new sort of skin, just something shiny and fancy. But I don't think that's the case anymore. Let's jump into a skirmish and we can sort of go through some of those things here. First off are all the gods. So, okay, there's all the new artworks of all the gods, which, I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I still sort of like the old artworks a little better, but, I don't know, it's a new game. Well, there are new features to the game, so you may as well put in some new artwork. However, each of the gods and goddesses have little tweaks to each of their lineups here. So if you'll have a look at channels for Gaia, in the original, the channels from memory used to affect all citizens no matter where they were. This one here increases the speed of the units traversing on her lush, and it's not just citizens either. So this time it's kind of a more situational effect limited on her lush, whereas before it was citizens and everywhere around the map, which I think was a lot stronger than this version here. So you'll notice little bits and pieces like that. Some of the texts you get are new, so like perception here. Leto blesses your oracles and hero oracles, increasing their line of sight, and oracles also gain favor. So there's little bits and pieces like that that will change it. Even things that you might have seen before might have some little changes to them. You might also notice that there are times associated with upgrading or researching a new technology that wasn't there before. So you can see, alright, to create a Lampides, you're going to get roughly 20 seconds of training time. For Mythic Rejuvenation, it's going to take roughly 40 seconds. So there's little bits and pieces like that. And at least now it tells you the Lush heals friendly units this time, not just buildings, units and buildings at a rate of 1 HP per second. So all the gods and goddesses have these minor changes, at least from what I've encountered so far. So I'm just going to go through all of them super duper quick. Things like that. Kronos will receive 2 free myth units instead of 1 when advancing to the next stage, and you're going to get some income back when they're destroyed. So 20% of their resource cost. So it's like 4 to 1, 5 to 1. You'll get 1 unit free. So it's not too bad. I mean, stuff like this wasn't here before. Human soldiers and heroes plus 25% counter damage. Buildings are constructed 25% faster. Transforming gatherers and dwarves into berserks is free. So I think the Norse have probably gone through a significant change in game style. So it'll be interesting to play as them. The Egyptians a little bit as well, but I haven't played as them yet, but I don't think it is as much as the Norse. I haven't checked out any forums, so anything like AOM Heaven or anything like that. I don't know what current issues are, or if there are any issues. I don't know what the balancing's like. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of little changes and tweaks here. I mean, if you look at the Minotaur, in the old game, it was 250 food, and now it's 180 gold. So even little changes like that can force you to change how you're setting up your economy, essentially. So you'd go pretty heavy on gold, which might take you a bit longer to get the food that you need. You know, stuff like that. There is a god here called Freya. Seems like it's replaced Forest Fire. Oh no, there's Freya and Freyr. Yeah, there you go. New tech completely. Gives heroes extra hit points. But this one here is interesting. It's got a technology and defense bonus. So you've got a potent defensive god power that gets more powerful with each age. So you get a golden boar to defend the area, and it becomes a little stronger each age, which is interesting. And the favor cost decreases with each tech researched. Okay, this guy's completely new. I haven't seen that guy. Oh, there's another one. There's a whole bunch of new gods, actually, there. Minor gods. Are they available to anyone else? No, they're not. Interesting. And then Vidar. Fafnir. Okay, so there's, again, more content there. It's interesting to see that they completely took away the Chinese. I think it was a good concept idea, just needed a lot more working on, obviously, the balancing, the kinks, getting it to work, all that sort of stuff. But good idea in concept. And now if you jump into the difficulties, you've got standard, moderate, hard, titan, extreme, and legendary. And the computer will have 3 different sort of modes, which I think is kind of nice. I'm going to chuck this one on defender. I'm going to go on standard still, because the computer will attack you even on standard this time, which is good. It won't sort of just sit around and build 2 or 3 units and just play like a sandbox, but that's cool. There are a fair few different maps. I don't know enough about all the different maps. I haven't really played all that much online to know what is all the changes between them or what's normal, but yeah, Elysium seems like the place for me. And you can see it sort of outlines everything on the map when you're looking at it. So all the gold is found in these, I guess, sort of wells, or you could even go gold rush with most of the gold in the center of the map. Like, it has a little brief map, I guess, that will show you the details when you're getting into that map. So I'm just going to go with Elysium. And it's kind of good that now they've got bonuses, or it's like a handicap essentially. So you can go all the way up to 500. I'm pretty sure. And you can go all the way down to about 95, yeah. So if you're a really good player and you want to play someone who isn't that good, give them a handicap and it should be fairly challenged. So you'll just gather resources as far as I'm aware. Just resources slower, but if it's also on techs, then yeah, you could be in for a rough time. So I'm just going to go as the one I had trouble with last time was the Atlanteans. But before I do that, I'm going to go through each of the pantheons again, or the learn to plays, because there was a little couple of differences here.
In mind when playing the Greeks. Greek soldiers are powerful, but expensive and slow to train. You will need many villagers and military buildings to support your armies. Next, the Greeks gain favor by sending villagers to pray at temples. The more villagers you have praying, the more favor you will earn.
So far, so good.
Finally, the Greeks call on unique heroes to fight myth units. Like other Greek soldiers, these heroes are strong, but expensive. Some even have devastating special abilities that can win a battle.
So the Greeks don't really seem to have changed all that much. Now let's have a look at the Egyptians now.
When playing the Egyptians, there are 3 things to remember. First, the Pharaoh is one of your most important units. He can be tasked to empower different buildings in your town. Empowered buildings train military units, research improvements, and attack faster. Laborers, fishing ships, and camel caravans will drop off more resources at empowered buildings.
Okay, that's all still good.
The Pharaoh can also empower foundations, speeding their construction. In combat, your Pharaoh is very strong against myth units. You only have one Pharaoh, so use him well. Second, the Egyptians gain favor by building monuments. 5 different monuments are available, but you can only build one of each. You will gain favor faster with each new one constructed. Each major god provides a unique bonus to your monuments, so place them wisely.
That's something different. Each major god provides a unique
Finally,
bonus.
most Egyptian buildings are either free or cost gold. However, they take a long time to construct. Remember that your pharaoh can empower a foundation to speed this process.
And that last point, we sort of already knew that. You get most of your houses for free, market for free, armory for free, but they do take a while to put up, even when empowering, so you got to put them up early. Let's have a look at the Norse.
There are 3 things to remember when playing the Norse. Instead of building stationary drop sites, Norse gatherers and dwarves construct mobile ox carts. Ox carts serve as drop-off points for all resources.
So you have to build the ox
They
cart
move
with
around
citizens
the map.
and
They can
dwarves
also
now.
research economic improvements. Second, the Norse gain favor through battle. They simply fight to please their gods. Whenever a Norse soldier or ship is fighting,
That was pretty cool of the mountain giant.
Certain units, like the Hersil, a type of Norse hero, generate favor faster than others. Finally, Norse foot soldiers can
I do think the
construct
Norse
and
look the
repair
best.
buildings. Norse gatherers and dwarves can only construct certain buildings, such as farms and houses. Use foot soldiers to construct new buildings.
Like that
when
giant
and where
in
you
relation to the size of the human soldiers. I think that's on point. And I think the design there looks pretty good. But there doesn't seem to be any major changes apart from villagers and dwarves now building ox carts instead of the town centre. Which means your villagers are going to have some idle time instead of getting resources, so... It also means town centres, if they're not building them, then you're going to need your citizens too, so... Not necessarily a bad thing, though. Now, finally, the Atlanteans, and I should have watched this before I played because I got tripped up here.
When commanding the Atlanteans, there are a few things to remember. First, their citizens are expensive and take a long time to train. However, they gather and build much more quickly than other villagers. Also, rather than using drop sites, they stockpile resources instantly. Atlanteans scout and gain favor using oracles.
Gain favor using
An
oracles.
oracle gradually loses vision while moving, but when standing still, its line of sight grows and it gains favor faster. Oracles must stand far away from each other, or else only one of them will earn favor. Atlanteans can promote any of their human units to heroes for a price. Promoting takes time, however, so carefully plan when you wish to do so. Heroes are generally superior to regular units, but they excel in particular at fighting myth units.
So the big ones there are the heroes, promoting your heroes, sorry. I'm stuttering on a lot of words today, I'm sort of half asleep. But your heroes being promoted does take a fair bit of time. It seems to be a lot cheaper too. Then you've also got the oracles gaining favor. I was like, why am I not gaining any favor? And then, because I had 2 or 3 town centers and like 3 favor, and I was like, what is going on? So eventually I had to read a couple of different texts in the game, and then I was like, it's from your oracles. Got some oracles out, put them away from each other, and then actually started generating favor. So anyway, that's all of the tutorials, I guess you could say. There is a compendium, so if you want to go through units or gods, probably best to go through units. So if you pick or select any unit, you can see its cost. You can see the hit points, speed, hack, crush, armor and damage, rate of fire, pierce armor. If you go to things like ballista, all ranged units now have an accuracy rating. So if you fire 5 shots, 4 of them will hit, 1 of them will miss. It's the same with a Totoxes, wherever you are. So there you go, accuracy. Is it the same for ships? Trireme. Seems to be the same for ships, at least from the ones that I see here. So there is a little accuracy thing here. If you have come up against a unit that you know nothing about, then you can find it somewhere in here. And of course, there are some cheats as well. UFO, monkey raft, fork boy, football, and a flying purple hippo, as well as a laser bear. So everything you want to know you can find in the compendium. And then you've also got the tech tree, so you can revisit this anytime, sort of come up with ideas, maybe around a specific build order, or if you just like a certain god, you can be like, alright, what can I sort of do with this god, you know? Alright, let's jump into a skirmish. So deliberately gonna put in a spud computer. I'm gonna go for a fast boom here to try and show a bit of everything. This here is good, tells you everything you need to know about the scenario you're playing. So the texture to me feels a little fuzzy. I don't know, I'd sort of rather that be a bit more precise, a little bit more defined. But that's just me. So you'll notice here generating 0.01 favor per second. Will get you building a mana. And you'll notice it'll steadily increase, and you can actually see his range of view increase. There are settings you can use to take that off, but I've only got it when he's selected on. And then when he hits maximum capacity, it's selected as resource auto gather rate. You can also set him to auto explore, and this is going to gradually shrink. One big thing about the game so far is that your starting resources, so I've changed it, it usually appears up here, I like it compact and down here, that if you want to build a temple, it's now 150 each of wood and gold, so you're going to have to start gathering both of them straight at the start of the game. So that will change your build order. To me, it does seem a lot faster. In pace, so I think in about probably another minute should be pretty close to leveling up, upgrading. be expected. Can also buy channels right now.
Yuji, Schwest.
Okay, that's the required wood I need. You can just stay on wood.
Burek.
I think we can build one more.
Yuji.
So the armory costs the same as a market this time around. So that'll save a lot of wood.
Herr Joe's.
Okay, we can get you onto Gaia's trees. And you'll notice that the lush, you can see the texture difference, I guess. So you've got all of these roots, and they sort of go roughly to about, you know, here. And they're covered in blue flowers, so that indicates that they're mylush in the case of multiple Gaia players. Okay, should be ready to age up. I'm going to go with Leto, purely for the Oracle getting more favor, because I found gaining favor hard as the Atlanteans. So I'm going to need a lot of wood. And I'll get channels. Unfortunate. And you can have multiple oracles, but you can only have 10 of them now. And there is also a build limit for the Atlantean citizens. That's actually a lot cheaper too, 85. Used to be 125. Okay, there you go.
Burek. Yuji.
So, gonna get another mana up.
Okay.
And also gonna get an economic guild,
Okay.
since Gaia specializes in that. Here's your automaton. You can get rid of all of the major stuff by just having this button toggled here. I'd prefer this to be vertical as well. It's a lot easier to read. I liked the old setup better for that. Both get on food. I find sort of that layout a bit difficult to comprehend. It gives you information on them, but if you go information here, it'll tell you all of the military stats, where citizens do have military stats as well, or physical stats, but it doesn't appear there, which I don't think is good at all. So here are the spider eggs. They go in a straight line. Let's grab perception, get some extra favor, and just queue some more villagers up. You can auto toggle it with the right click, and I do like that they have hotkeys for every building that you've got.
Herr Joe's.
So if we want to get a barracks out, which we will, just in case the computer gets a little sneaky. We will do that. So Atlanteans can still build town centers, but every town center so far is 350, 350.
Diot.
Okay, we got plenty of wood there.
Diot.
Obviously having a snooze. And we had 2 free god power uses of Gaia's Forest. It seems the third one is going to cost 10 favor. But we're going to get it anyway.
Joe's.
Got a nice little bit of hunt out the back, so we will grab that in a moment. Gonna grab all the economic upgrades.
Ostro. Okay. Herr Joe's. Osto. Muck.
So even with military buildings, it's the same thing. There's a lot of different hotkeys you can use. And you can go change them all in the settings. It seems pretty pretty well suited to customizing it to your needs. Here is a relic. Same thing as the old game. It tells you what they do. So in this case, Taylor Cerberus myth units use their special attacks more often, and it tells you exactly how much more you can use it. So the ability recharge time has been decreased by a quarter, so you'll get to use them about a third more often. I think, if I've done the math right. Something that isn't there is hunting dogs. Hunting dogs has disappeared. And instead of having like a trench coat or something like that, so I'm thinking of AoE 3, you have survival equipment, which gives villagers more durability and a little bit more attack. Not that I need it here, but I am getting sick of hitting that, so I am going to auto queue that up. I will change you into a hero, so you'll notice that it does take a fair bit of time for it to be a hero. It can't move while it's becoming a hero. And it gains a passive ability called Sacred Hands. It can pick up a relic and drop it off at the temple. So food should be going absolutely berserk. An armory or a market. And indeed it did. Probably going to need a manor as well. Can tell you up the top what you've gained. I do want another Gaia Forest. They were also on food. Okay, we can age up. I'm gonna go with... yeah, we'll go with Favor. We'll go with Rhea for the Favor. Gonna generate some oracles. And if I go in quite a fair bit... I do like this dark aura of the automaton. That's kind of cool. Don't think the soldiers need to be faceless, but a generic face would... oh no, it's not a face, it's a helmet. That's kind of nice. It is kind of nice looking at it from this angle, but I still feel it's a bit fuzzy. It gets a little hard to differentiate units, but maybe I should just be in with the camera angle a little bit more. Let's go across over here. Let's get a market up and running. We'll get you away. Let's get up another town center. That food will be evaporated pretty quickly. We get them on wood. There's your behemoth. Pretty slow and lumbering, but it does pack a punch. And it does tell you if there are any bonuses, what bonuses they are against. You can see 5 times damage multiplier against myth units. This one also has a passive ability directional plating takes less damage when attacked from the front than from the back or the sides. But exactly how that works, I do not know. Also tells you the build time in seconds of how long something is going to take to build or happen. If you add more citizens, that as soon as the citizen starts building, that remaining time will just automatically decrease. So I'll show you a good example when I'm going to build the Wonder. Bit of flood control wouldn't be a bad thing either.
Burek.
Still a deer there.
Yuji. Burek.
Generating 0.07 favor a second. You can see that we've got 5 favor gatherers. And this is purely because town centers now don't provide favor. Okay, so... And I am going to need a fortress. Or a palace. The other thing is that any new town center that I've got, I don't know about if it's in the settings, I'd have to have a look again. It automatically auto-queues citizens. So there's something to be aware of. You can toggle that on or off should you need it. So wood should be good now. Now we just need gold. Okay, these guys can start eating all the pigs.
Yuji.
0.1 favor per second is actually quite a fair bit. And you need to build a palace before you can age up. Used to be the market, but now it's the palace. It's probably better too because the palace is a lot more expensive. And you definitely need to guard it. So the reason I'm not doing all that much is I do want to age up. Okay, we are going to be housed. And with Gaia, you want her shit everywhere. Chonkers. Fully fattened 10 livestock animals in a single match. That is the definition of chonkers, alright. Okay, they've sent a slinger to topple my empire. Will the empire stand for this? No, they won't. How much we taken back? 82. That's quite a fair bit. Okay, we can age up finally. I'm going to go with Hecate. An old mate there was promptly disposed of. What? How can I build a village center? Oh, that's kind of nice. Construct a village center here. Or place over a settlement to construct a town center. A village center or a town center? Oh, I killed the villager. Well, now I'm curious. That I didn't see before. So let's place this here. Is it still 350 a pop?
Okay.
Yeah, it still seems to be 350 a pop. Have to be getting close to the build limit. Okay, we got plenty of wood. We're gonna need a lot of food. We'll also get fortified town centers as well. Okay, so the village center, 1,200. That's not strong at all. But still just as expensive. Can be built anywhere on the map. Okay, does it give me extra pop? Okay, town centers support population. Village centers do not. Town centers are built over settlements. Okay, so if you need to train more villages, you can do so. This one's also going to be building citizens. Okay, so once you get to the Mythic Age, you'll find... Okay, you can build the Titan Gate, but if you select a random villager, you'll notice that there's also a wonder. And down the bottom here it says, constructing a wonder advances you to the Wonder Age, where the gods will reward you with a great world-ending power. So because I'm feeling a little evil, yeah, that's not too far. Let's see if they can deal with a Titan Gate. You'll notice that even though I did use one Titan Gate, you can build another one. Sorry, Tartarian Gate. There is a cooldown time with each god power, which explains why I can still use Gaia's Forest. And it seems to ramp up linearly in cost. Linearly in cost. So, once I place down another Gaia Forest tree, it'll take 40 favor, and then it'll be 50 favor, and then so on and so forth. It might start at 350, but it might jump up 100 or 200 favor. It seems as though there is no favor limit. Okay. So you can just keep generating favor, you can keep generating food, wood, and gold, and it doesn't seem like that's going to matter at all. So even on the easiest difficulty, the computer will still build a moderate amount of units, and it looks like they're being pretty snappy about it. And so after a certain amount of free uses, each new, god power will cost a certain amount of favor, and like I said before, it will ramp up linearly in cost. At least it appears to ramp up linearly in cost. I'm almost at the required amount to build a wonder, and also to build a Titan Gate. Let's build a Titan Gate. Walls start off as wooden walls, and for some reason they cost gold. Bug it if I know. And cheaper hero citizens. So it used to be like 225 and a couple of favor and a bit of wood. Now it's like, nah. Build another Gaia Forest. Now it goes up to 50.
Ujima.
Secrets of the Titans is almost there.
Mos intem. Osto. Skopos. Uji. Eschlost. Osto.
Secrets of the Titans. We're gonna plonk this one over here. And you can see that without any citizens on it, 1300 seconds roughly. If I chuck a second one on it, it goes straight to 900, and then it goes straight to 560. So it automatically calculates that time that it will take. And not only that, we will get this wonder happening, and the wonder takes a long time. $5,400 seconds. Wait, that's a long time. Okay, 3,600 seconds. And you have to keep it, I guess, standing, otherwise you will lose that favor. I think. I don't know. So now it's 2,235 seconds.
Mos intem.
Herr Joes, Osto. Bureg. Herr Joes, Eschlost. Uji.
Some other differences, conscripts. Oh yeah, we can get omniscience, omniscience. Bleh. You'll find conscripts, at least for the first levy, is a lot cheaper. And then it will very quickly ramp up in cost. You can now see everything the enemy sees. And there's not really all that much going around. As a defender, the computer will build walls. They don't seem to have built any extra towers, but they have built a Migdal. But they haven't upgraded their walls. It is on standard, so you shouldn't expect too much. The caravans also have a limit. Caravan build limit is 60.
Uji.
Village center, yeah. It looks a lot tinier. Less secure, but it can indeed produce the citizens that we need.
Uji. Mos intem.
Herr Joes, Mos intem. Mos intem.
Bure.
Okay, so we're halfway to unearthing the Titan.
Ostvayen.
And we'll grab these three guys.
Herr Joes.
Must be less than 100 left.
Schlost.
And they can jump on the Wonder. And then if you are being a bit smarmy, the computer will come and attack you. Maybe not on the easiest difficulty, but it definitely will later on.
Skopos.
Schlost. Osto.
Uji. Ma.
The fortress does appear on the map over here as like a little fort. Oracles appear as little circles. Titan Gate as the hexagon, and the Wonder as sort of like a pyramid, I guess you could say. Now, the reason why you would want to build a Wonder gets you to the Wonder Age. What does the Wonder Age give you? Well, it gives you a favor per second. Okay, so it provides a steady favor trickle. But the God Powers have a 3/4 cost cooldown reduction and also a 3/4 cost reduction. So that means if you've got 100 favor or something that costs 100 favor, it'll only cost 25. And instead of, say, it taking 100 seconds to recharge, it'll only take 25 seconds. This combined with the fact that you can use a lot more God Powers, and you can use your God Powers, it seems to be infinitely, that is a huge advantage. Absolutely huge advantage. Myth units and Titans gain 100 attack damage and hit points. So not only are they twice as durable, they also hit twice as hard. Okay, this is still going to take some time. And can traverse both land and water, walk over walls, and instantly destroy nearby enemy building foundations. That's crazy. That's quite a buff. You'll see that it is 28,000 hit points. Regenerates 2 per second thanks to Mythic Rejuvenation. The stats still look rather similar, so an 80 crush damage. I think it used to be a bit higher, maybe 90, 95 in the other game, in the older game, the original. The hack armor and pierce armor, roughly similar. Has crush damage, hack damage, and a decent rate of fire. You can see all the applied upgrades to it, so it does move faster. Thanks to Hecate. Okay. One thing it doesn't have is its recharge time for the special attacks. So here for the Lampidades, they would invoke Chaos on human soldiers. In this case, oh yeah, they've gone gold. Gone gold to indicate champion status. There is no rechargeable bar here. I don't see it. And that kind of frustrates me, because I'm like, well, how long until this effect works? So that is something I think they need to bring back. Apart from the palace, beauty. Going back to the Wonder Age, so your Titan will get 100% attack damage and hit points, and it'll gain a lot more speed. The Titan Gate can also be rebuilt every 10 minutes, so you can have multiple Titans out on the field at any one time, which is crazy. Pretty much evaporated all the gold here. Suppose they can just start gathering some food. Now, what I will do, because that is a sick ability, can traverse both land and water. There's no water on this map, but I will have to investigate that later. Can walk over walls and instantly destroy nearby enemy building foundations. Well, that helps stalling against stalling. So if you're trying to build walls in front and it's getting blocked by pathing with walls, then you're definitely not blocking that out this time. And if it can walk over walls, that's a sick ability as well. Let's test that out. That's something I didn't realize last time. So it's on 70, as in 20 hack damage per second. It's automatically, that is crazy. It's just like, yep, I'm just going to walk through all these. That is strong. You'll notice though it does take damage pretty quickly. So 28,000 hit points isn't going to last as long as you think it is. And even though it used the pound the ground attack, it doesn't have a recharge time on that. Like, you can't see it, which I think is a bad thing. Okay, this wonder's less than 5 minutes away. Did it say hit points? Attack, damage, and hit points. So instead of 28,000, it'll be 56,000. Oh wait, hang on. Titanic Smash. Okay, so you can see a rough recharge time here. I don't think that should be there. I think that should be underneath its health, like it was previously. The Avenger getting its whirlwind attack in. That Avenger is surprisingly durable. Something I didn't mention before is that there's also all these hotkeys. So automatons usually have any abilities, or any myth units usually have their abilities up there, which I didn't notice before. But your foot soldiers will have... So he's actually off the ground and then comes back as a hero. And he can't move. Up there in the top left corner there. Now hero. Some decent stats. But also you've got the way they're lined up. So there's a line formation, box, and sort of a spread. And then stand ground, defensive, do nothing. Oh, actually don't do that yet. Leave the computer alone just for a little bit. So there are different formations to use. You'd use the line formation when you don't want to get flanked or anything like that. Or when you've got a specific formation. Box formation, probably a bit better for surrounding an enemy, like a Titan. Or perhaps a hero or something like that. And then spread formation for anything that has an area or an area effect damage, like the Chimera, breathing its fire. Or catapults or archers. Or even good against Cav, because it'll increase the time it takes for them to get between each archer. So there's little things like that in this game, which is quite nice. Again, all the hotkeys are there, which I think is really good. I think some of the artworks, though, could be a bit clearer. Like, I mean, okay, that is clear, but I still like it a bit sharper then, maybe. That's probably the right word. And it doesn't seem like there's a limit to how many fortified village centers you can have. Can't build a docks in there. Let's check back on our wonder. But that will definitely end the game if you can get that up. It is also very, what's the word, forceful in making you think about your god powers, because your god powers now are going to have a long-term effect. Something like Forest Fire, okay, probably not as good. Probably because you don't have as many forests around. Wood is a finite resource, but something even like Bolt or Gaia Forest, so you can see it's cheaper, but something like Bolt or Earthquake is potentially going to be a lot more different now that you've got multiple uses of it. So you'll really be forced to think about the long-term implications of what you're upgrading and what you're going to age up with. So Trader is still going to be helpful, but is it going to be as useful as, say, I don't know, Dwarven Mine or something else like that? Is Implosion going to be better than Tartarian Gate, etc, etc? So there's going to be long-term repercussions or long-term effects of using multiple god powers. So let's try it out. Let's put in another one. Put in another Tartarian Gate. Not right next to me. Donkey. So let's have a look. Cooldown time, 25 seconds. The cooldown time here is 50 seconds. Seems like they got a lot of relic monkeys. If you do want villagers to be gathering resources for a specific thing, you can select from one of the presets and villagers will automatically go off and sort that out themselves, like a specific ratio. So you can go and do that. That is a thing. Wood is going to skyrocket. And the Atlanteans do have orichalcum walls. They're pretty strong. We can now launch another Tartarian Gate. So let's do that. And you can see, less than a minute, 90 favor. Considering we've got almost 700 favor, there's going to be a lot of Tartarian Gates in their future. Can also make life hard. Grab the catapult. And get more forests up and running. So you can really do a lot of damage now with these god powers. I mean, potentially like spamming Earthquake or Meteor. That's gonna completely crush an enemy. Okay. And then if you've got the Titan, you'll notice 56,140 damage. So it is absolutely huge. Absolute behemoth. And I think the computer's going to have its hands cut out with... Computer's definitely going to have its hands cut out. Hands cut out, its work cut out for itself. Yep, it'll instantly destroy things like that. Instantly destroy foundations. So it just completely smashed the tower to bits. Now the computer will... Yeah, there you go. The computer will automatically lose if it doesn't have any town centers, settlements, and villages. So you can see, got three gates. A couple of villages left over here. It's kind of nice how they just went splatter everywhere. There you go. So hopefully that was a good demonstration of the new, I guess, mechanics in the game. I think this is pretty good. The post-game graphs, you can see the number of military units. You can see the god powers that were well, the times god powers were used. You can see all resources. That's just in the bank. And it just skyrocketed. Or if you want to look at a particular resource, it's all there. So all resources, I think, is how much you've got in the bank. Whereas all resources collected is a cumulative over the whole course of the game. So it'll potentially cap itself out there, which I think is really good. There's a lot of valuable information you can get from this. And then total military resource value. So you can even see the amount, relative cost of your units to their units, which I think is really, really good. You've also got some other statistics there. So I think this is actually really, really good. Super clear, super helpful, and you can... It's not usually too difficult to find out a specific point where you're like, oh, okay, why did I lose a whole bunch of villagers? I think it even has, like, villager idle time. Yeah. So obviously you're going to have a lot of idle villagers after building the Wonder, because you're probably controlling the Titan at that point, or getting a lot of myth units ready. But yeah, some fundamental differences there. Favor is unlimited, and the Wonder Age will boost your myth units. Your myth units become a lot stronger, whereas I feel they're a little bit nerfed before the Wonder Age, but in saying that, it does seem a bit harder to get heroes up and running. If I go into another skirmish, let's be super quick about it. So let's say go Zeus, as opposed to, say, Thor. You might notice that the heroes here, all the heroes, switch to a range attack to fight flying units, which I find is pretty interesting as well. Greeks have a pretty similar setup to the way they were before. Same thing with the god powers here for the Greeks. You can bolt a lot of things now, and you'll have a linear increase in cost the next time you want to use another bolt. So, very, very cool. And then the campaign. So I'm just going to go through Omens again, just quickly on Titan. And then sort of just give some concluding remarks or some, like a final review.
You cannot ignore the omens, Arcantos. Lord Poseidon's displeasure is clear. We must help break the siege at Troy.
Troops we send now will be lucky to arrive before the fight is
Arcantos has a
Even
funny
if they do,
face.
Their only task will be to show the banner of Atlantis, not a task for an admiral.
It would shame Agamemnon if we sent one of your junior officers. He already complains that we do not pay enough attention to the Greek colonies. No, it must be you.
Tell you what, that Kraken looks absolutely dope. And the graphics of the water there looks pretty good. Whoops. Ideally, you pull that archer back.
Atlantean army is on the way. Defend the harbor until they arrive.
Arcantos is a hero, and very effective.
Oh yeah,
at
archers.
units, such as the Kraken.
You can toggle in the settings whether or not you want to see how far in or out of range they are. So that is something you can do. I've played this scenario a couple of times now, and I do know that having 6 on gold seems to be the way to go.
Additional Toxote can be trained at the archery range. These excel against enemy infantry.
So we'll get all those guys upgraded to medium. This is pretty much the same as the standard campaign. I haven't seen too many differences. You don't have a town center here, so you can't just keep getting villages like before. It seems there are quicker attacks, or you have less respite between attacks than in the previous game. Graphics look pretty good. Oh wow, having a snooze. That's me having a snooze. And because we can't get any more villages, and they can't build anything further, then we sort of just have to wait. Hope that they don't come anywhere here, because if they did, then I would be in trouble. There is stuff up here, but we're just going to train them all from the one spot.
West of the harbor. If you are running out of a particular resource, you should consider retasking them to gather it.
Πρόσταγμα λέγε βούλωμα. Ορθός. Πάνω. Έτοιμος. Ορθός.
Another kraken approaches. Poseidon's wrath is clear.
Absolutely nothing is buzzing up the top there.
Λέγε.
Πρόσταγμα. Ναι. Χορό. Πανέστο. Μάλιστα. Εισβολή. Καλώς. Καλώς.
Έτοιμος.
Still have a bit too much food.
Βούλωμα. Καλώς.
Έτοιμος. Εισχορό. Εισχορό. Καλώς. Εισμαχέ. Εισβολή. Λεγε. Βουλ. Χορό.
Ορθός.
Good work, but keep your eyes open.
Yeah, still got a bit too much food.
Use the restoration god power to heal your units and mend your buildings.
Λέγε. Έτοιμος. Βούλωμα. Πρόσταγμα.
Get those Petropoli up here.
Petropoli? I always thought it was Petropoli.
Έτοιμος. Ναι.
Another kraken headed for the shore.
And you can see that immediately after being attacked,
Μάλιστα.
we're already getting attacked again.
Πρόσταγμα. Ορθός.
Get those Petropoli. Boli, not Poli. I think it sounds better as Petropoli.
To call upon your god powers. Your god powers are located in the top center of the screen.
Προσπαθήσω.
Commanding party.
Πάνω. Εισβολή.
Those catapults, those Petroboli, absolutely wreck ships.
Excellent. Get ready, everyone. This isn't over yet.
Πρόστα. Βούλωμε.
Consider upgrading the weapons and armor of your units at the armory.
Armory upgrades are a bit cheaper. Okay, copper weapons is a bit of the same, but the others are cheaper than what I remember them. So we'll get all of them, because there are slingers.
Έτοιμος. Πάνω.
Black sails. Pirates.
Λεγε. Πανί.
Έτοιμος. Πάνω. Βούλωμε. Ορθός.
And again, just like the original, pirates will try and come and put you out of your misery. These guys will just disappear.
Πρόσταγμα. Πάνω.
Καλό χορό.
Έτοιμος. Εισβολή. Πρόσταγμα. Καλώς.
pirates won't take Atlantis this way. What are they thinking?
And all we got to do is just sit here and wait. I thought on Titan it would get a lot more difficult than this, but I do like how they've cut off the amount of villages you get, but I don't like how they haven't pushed me to the absolute brink yet. They have an absolute armada. Plethora. Gigantic amount.
The Atlantean army will be here soon.
Of soldiers. And I did think the old campaign did this a little better. It was a bit more intense right at the end there, because you just felt like, okay, I'm not going to have enough to survive the onslaught. And then the Atlantean army comes. But this one, it feels like, I feel like I could still hold off. Okay, now I've got too much gold. And I've got another restoration god power. Bit sneaky, the Krakens were carrying people there. They'll just get absolutely romped. The reinforcements aren't big at all. But all of that is enough to smite the enemy. Tell you what, the wave physics, the physics of the water, really well done. And the Kraken again looks pretty dope. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty good. That's well done, I think.
Another message from Poseidon, Arkantos. His creatures helped the pirates.
Father, they stole the trident.
What?
Yes, it was stolen during the fighting.
Kamos.
There could not be a clearer sign, Arkantos. We are losing Poseidon's favor. We must act.
I will go to Troy as you ask. I'm going to get that trident back on the way. Zethos, take supplies aboard and get the men together. We're setting sail.
Can I come?
No, I need you here in case they come back. Don't worry, this errand will not take long.
This errand. So, I do like the design of it in that sense that it seems still cartoony, but it has an element of realism to it, so I think that's really, really well done. I haven't played online, so I don't know, again, if there's issues with the balancing or if there's any other things that need to be mentioned with that, so I can't really comment on that. The music seems to be the same, just little bits and pieces changed here and there, but a lot of the old tunes that we know and love. It wouldn't be bad to have specific themes for each god, so maybe one sort of theme for each god, maybe just while it starts out, and then maybe some other unique themes here and there, just to add a little bit more variety, add a little bit more freshness to it. But the mechanics seem to be changed quite a fair bit, and at this point in time, it seems to be relatively okay from what I can see. The game does seem to be a bit more faster paced, and there's a lot more options for customization in both the skirmishes and the campaigns and the way you want to play the game. So in terms of your settings, your hotkeys, all that sort of stuff. So that's really, really good. The graphics, I guess you could say, all the gods have gotten sort of a art reworking. You can go back to get the legacy deity portraits, but you're going to have to pay a bit of money. That's as DLC content. Same with the Freya DLC content and other mythical battles. That all looks pretty good. And then cost-wise, I think for $40, I think that's pretty reasonable. It's not quite the same game as Age of Mythology. Having a Wonder Age and having some bonus capabilities such as Titans moving on water, walking over walls or destroying them instantly, destroying building foundations is definitely going to change the game for better or for worse. I think it's a better step. It's going to make defending a little bit harder. Makes your myth units more powerful, forces you to think about long-term strategies or choices about your game. So I'd say it's a different game altogether, and probably worth the money. Haven't gone through everything in the campaign, so there could be some differences in terms of strategy or gameplay there. I have noticed, like I said before, even in the first scenario, there was a missing town center, but there, that scenario didn't feel particularly challenging, even on Titan, even though I've done it a couple of times now. I still don't feel it hit the same intensity as the first one did. So there might be some more changes further on in there. But overall, I think it's pretty well worth it. Just make sure you read and brush up on the mechanics before playing, because there are little subtle differences here and there that will sort of catch you off guard if you're an older player such as myself. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed sort of a brief overview, or as much as an overview as you can sort of get with Age of Mythology Retold. If you have any questions, queries, or comments, or you just sort of want to get involved in general discussion, leave a comment in the comment section down below and let's sort of have a chat about it. Otherwise, hope you've enjoyed, and thanks for watching.